This is our ultimate content creation process, one that's helped us generate hundreds of millions of views just this year. In this video, I'm going to share with you our end-to-end content creation process, which looks a little bit like this. To stand out with content, we try and attack three main pillars: to educate, to entertain, and to inspire. If you can do one, two, or all three of those things at once, you're going to be onto a big winner. Every good piece of content starts with an idea. It's all about figuring out what our audience's burning questions are, what keeps them awake at night, what's on their mind that they want answering, and then we try and create content around that. So the question is, how do we generate those ideas? Now, we've got over 2.5 million followers across social media, and we've got a team of passionate streetwear and sneaker enthusiasts. So there's probably a non-stop amount of ideas between these two channels. So the first thing we look at is, what are the audience talking about? What's trending right now? What is a controversial topic? So we listen closely to the audience to start generating a list of ideas. The other thing that we do is we look back on content that's worked well and we analyze why it's worked well. What was it about that topic that did well? Was it the hook of that video? It's very much about, at the start, listening to what the audience is saying to then formulate your ideas. A mixture of using data, audience intelligence, and the passionate team here helps us to come up with the ideas. So once we think we've got a good idea, we take it to what we call the hook sign-off. Every good bit of content starts with a good hook. If someone's got a good idea, they must come up with a hook which is original, controversial, and intriguing. You want people to ask questions. You want them to hear the hook and be like, tell me more, what's the answer? I need to know. And it needs to be something original. So once we've got the hook, we put that into a Notion board, and then Georgie will start writing the script. We script everything. It doesn't mean that we're going to say the script word for word, but what it does mean is we get the crucial information in that video and the stuff that people care about. Try to tell a story with your scripting process. People want to hear about the key characters in the story, why something's important, what the data is. They want something that they can share and that they can remember. So storytelling is essential. Owned by Georgie and supported by Dan, John, Kelly, Ellie, Pernie, and anyone who has a good idea. Once we've got a good hook and script, we're into the presenting. And there's three important things when you're presenting. The first one is tonality. How are you speaking to the camera? What tone of voice are you using? People underestimate how important tone of voice is. I will sometimes say one line over 10 times to get the tone of voice right. I remember when Dan used to say to me, get on camera, you need to be presenting. And I used to get on camera and absolutely freeze when the camera was in front of me. It was so challenging and I really struggled with it for a long time before I found my confidence. And that's the key here. The more that you jump on camera, the easier it becomes. The other tip that I love is put someone that you care about behind the camera. So you're not talking at the camera, but you're talking to them. Talk to the person, not to the camera. Talk to it like it's a friend in a conversation. That is the key tip to get an authentic tone of voice. Watch the content back there and then when you're presenting it. Have a look, see how you feel. Make sure you're happy with it before it goes into production. Because once the editors start working with it, it's going to be a big waste of time if you want to dismiss that video after it's been edited. We've got a range of passionate people in our team, and therefore we've got a whole host of presenters here. From myself, to Dan, to Taylor, to John, to Ellie, to Kelly, to Safine, the list goes on, and we're looking for new creators soon. Once we're done with the presenting, the video will go into post-production where it starts to get edited. There's always going to be things in the edit that we don't want to include. The goal with a good edit for short form content is to make it really quite fast paced. If there's anywhere in that edit where it feels like it's losing energy or it feels like it's losing flow, cut that out and move on to the next part of the clip. The next thing you want to think about when you're editing is that shot needs to change within the first 1 to 2 seconds to keep the audience engaged. With us, it needs to be me dropping the intro, a shoe coming up on screen, and then the camera angle changing. This is almost known as the MTV editing technique. The shot changes every 1 second and it keeps the viewer engaged, especially important on socials. And I'll share one more tip with you. Try to end the video abruptly. The more abruptly you can end the video, the more likely someone is to watch the start again, meaning that you get better watch time and the social platform will push that video out to more people. Our editing team is made up of John, Dill, Lana, and Ellie. Everyone's got their own unique style, but we've also got a very specific way we create viral content. Once we've got the perfectly edited video, it's all about posting it on the social platforms. And there's a few things to think about. Number one is you want to make sure you're posting it at the right time on those platforms. If you've spent time investing into a video to script, present, and then edit, it wants to go out at a peak time. And number two, a caption can make or break a video. If you come up with a classic hook and then someone reads the caption and it tells them everything about the video, they'll probably swipe past. So the caption also needs to be intriguing, just like the hook. And a lot of times we'll just use the hook as the caption because that creates intrigue and it creates controversy and then it encourages people to comment. Most importantly, you have to schedule natively on the platforms. If you are using TikTok, use the TikTok captions. Make sure you use trending music on TikTok. It has to look and feel like it belongs on that platform. So be careful and create natively. The final part is where it all loops back in, engagement and analysis. Once you've put the video out, you've done everything right, it's resonating with the audience, make sure you jump on and start replying to comments within the first hour of the video going live. This will help it build momentum and reach more people. It will also mean that when people have made the effort to comment and you reply and like their comment back, more people will start commenting, which then builds momentum further for the video. People underestimate how important engagement is. Everyone's an individual. If they've taken time out of their day to reply to your page, you should take time out of your day, or at least build the resources in your team to be able to do that. This is something that we're constantly trying to improve. The audience are everything, so treat them with respect. The respect that they deserve. One thing that I like to do, if someone's posted a comment on the video, I like to reply to their comment with something that gets them to write another comment back. Maybe a question or a statement, maybe something a bit cheeky or a bit bold. This really works to then help get more people commenting stuff. Another thing you can do is you can shout people's comments out. You can put them on your Instagram story, for instance. You can reply to their comment with a reel or a TikTok video. There's so many ways you can engage with your audience, and it's an essential part of every day. But most importantly, it's more than just engagement. If you are truly embedded with your audience, you start to understand what they're talking about, and you get more ideas for the first part of the process. Audience engagement and listening are so inextricably linked to the first part of the process, and that's why it's a circular system. The more you listen, the more you're engaging, the more ideas you get, and it feeds the process. It's one end-to-end process, and every part is just as important as the other. This is how we do content at the Sole Supplier, but you might do it differently, and I'd love to hear more about your process below in the comments. If you want to see more content like this in the future, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.